right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you are poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. So I'm here in Nigeria, and of course I'm making the observations, you know what I mean? It's everything that the traveler saw. It's the best part about being abroad. But one of the things that I'm seeing again for the first time is this this dynamic, this tension between Yoruba Christians and Yoruba Isheshe devotees. Now, all Yorubas are originally Isheshe. There's no such thing as a Yoruba who does not come from an Orisa family. It does not exist. All Yorubas come from Orisa families. All, 100%. But you know the deal. Christianity, slavery came in. Islam, slavery came in. And so now you go to Nigeria, there's like 50% Christian, 50% Muslim, but 100% Isheshe. Which means that in the daytime, everybody's either Christian or Muslim. But at night, there's a big percentage of the people, a huge percentage of the people actually, who will revert back to Isheshe for guidance, for remedies and solutions that Christianity and Islam simply do not provide. The problem for the Isheshe community is that there's this very pronounced resentment of the Christians and the Muslims, because sometimes you have people who are very successful businessmen, very successful politicians, very successful imams, very successful pastors, okay, who are relying heavily on Isheshe for their power, for their guidance. They have all kinds of charms, and some of them are, you know, fully initiated or have their hand of Ifa. And so the Isheshe people know the extent to which they are supporting the broader Yoruba community, but they see how on one level the successful and prominent Yoruba people, it's just benign neglect. They don't say anything about the role that Isheshe plays in their life, and or on the other extreme, people are totally hypocritical and they're openly, you know, bad mouthing Isheshe, knowing that the power behind the throne is Isheshe. And so either way you shake it, there's a lot of resentment amongst a lot of practitioners of Isheshe, and it creates a lot of tension between these two groups of people. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this is because I'm observing this, and previously I would just accept the conclusion that it's hypocritical, and it can even be a little bit embarrassing, right? Because you got people who are, if you compare it, you're not gonna find, right, Hindus and Chinese and Japanese and Koreans, right, who are so aggressively anti their ancestry as you will find, you know, here in West Africa. It's sad to see sometimes, and it hurts my heart sometimes to see the just blind, you know, discrimination and self-hatred when it comes to African spirituality. And so I have accepted that pretty easily over the years. But right now, when I look at the situation, I got to say that to a certain extent also, African Americans need to take a page out of the book of Yoruba Christians and Muslims. I know that's going to be hard to accept for some people. It's going to sound bad. And I want to do what I can to clarify and make it really, really simple for all of us. When I say that we need to take a page from the book of Yoruba Christians and Muslims, what I mean is that I'm recognizing that there are two levels of the practice. On one level of the practice, there is the orthodoxy of your devotion. This is how you actually carry out your religious rites, ceremonies, the liturgy, the chants, the songs, the prayers, etc. That's level 1. Okay, doing the 5 things that every devotee must do on a day-to-day basis to be in alignment with their destiny, their ancestors, the divinities, Olodumare. That's level 1. Then there's level 2. Once you, as you master level 1, and your soul is purified, is elevated, you get protection, you get guidance, you get wisdom, your heart, your compassion is increased, and you're becoming a better person, you're becoming more effective. As that happens, then there comes to level 2. And level 2 is implementation. Implementation is where you actually apply your natural gifts and talents. Implementation is where you actually apply the wisdom of your ancestral memory. Level 2 is where you deliver on the ancestral promise. This is where you use your natural gifts and talents to solve real problems for real people in real time. And that's very different. This is where we differ, okay, from, let's say, the orthodoxy of our teachers, right? So you have to learn the orthodoxy from your Oluo and from your lineage. But when it comes to implementation, that's where you got to be yourself. You got to be yourself all the while, but you understand what I'm saying? That's where you got to look at the real situation that you're facing. See, because the problems that you have aren't the same problems that people have in Nigeria. The life that you're going to live is not the same life that they're going to live in Nigeria. So I can say without fear of contradiction or error at all, if you're African American, implementation, solving the problems means building a bank. You need a bank in your community. North, south, east, west, this is true. I can say this with my eyes closed, blindfolded. You need a bank. You need a farm. You need a supermarket. You need a clinic. You need a hospital. You need a school. You need a transportation system. You need a communication system. You need a community policing system. You need a legal defense team and system. These are things that every African American community needs, without question. So as you master the orthodoxy of your practice on level 1, level 2 by definition means doing these things that are going to solve your problem. Creating employment in your community, creating livable, affordable housing and living environments for your community, increasing the commonwealth in your community. Without question, every African American community needs those institutions. So this is where you need to take a page out of the book of the Yoruba Christians and Muslims. And what do I mean specifically? Traditionally in Yoruba land, one person out of 5,000 is a priest. 1 out of 5,000, and that's being generous. You gotta remember, there's like 40 million Yorubas. That's like a 1-to-1. There's about 40 million African Americans. There's about 40 million just Yorubas, not Nigerians. 40 million Yorubas. There's never been a time where half the people of the population are Babalawo or Yalorisha or Babalorisha. It doesn't even make sense, right? It's one person out of 10,000 that's a priest. Everyone else is a farmer, is an iron worker, is a welder, is a road builder, is a tailor, is a weaver, etc., right? So this is where you get people who are, for example, businessmen, Yoruba businessmen, politicians, pastors, imams, right? Who, as a part of their political game, part of their social persona, sure, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim. That's my business. That's my profession. But my real identity, my spiritual reality is Isheshe. That's the page that you need to take out of their book. They're not concerned about beads. They're not concerned about pots. They're not concerned about titles, because that is a part of their spiritual reality. That's personal, right? And they're using that personal empowerment and that guidance and that insight to go out and have an engineering firm, to have a law firm, to run a successful campaign, win votes, build massive churches, which is their business, right? That is the page that you need to take out of the book of Yoruba Christians and Muslims. And fortunately, you don't have to be hypocritical. You honestly don't have to. You could actually go out and wear your ilek and wear your ide if nobody would even know what it is. You don't even have to say anything. You can have, your name can be Shango Bumi. Your name can be Faleye. Nobody knows what that is. And honestly, they probably don't even care. What they're going to care about is that you've got a clinic in their community and it's nearby, it's clean, it's well run, it's efficient, and it's affordable. Case closed. All right. And so this is where, my ongoing campaign of, it's not about beads, it's not about pots, it's not about titles. This is, I'm seeing it play out amongst the Yoruba Christians and Muslims, and they have the right idea in that regard. The only part that I still have a problem with is the hypocrisy. You don't have to be hypocritical. But that's the lesson for today, and I really hope that it's meaningful and insightful for my people, and that you can really understand and appreciate the sentiment of where I'm coming from, because really, essentially, where my hope is that you understand and that you will respond to this call. I'm looking for leaders. I need leaders. I'm looking for African American leaders who are completely and absolutely devoted to helping to improve the world through positive influence. If you are one of those people, I want you to find out how Obafemi Odegunwa and the Orisa Lifestyle Academy can help you take your life and your practice to the next level. Visit us at obafemio.com or orisalifestyle.com, and let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. Bye for now.